All right, good evening and welcome from around the world. You're joining us again for another Google Plus Hangout for our channel's beam. I am Victor Matthias, and today we're having a special hangout with the Special Assistant to Governor Akinwumi Ambode on education, Mr. Obafela Bank-Olemoh. He's going to be talking to us about the Ready, Set, Work initiative that has been in progress for the past 10, 11, 12 weeks. All right. So like I was saying, he'll be talking to us on the Ready Set Work initiative that has been going on for the past 11 weeks. That program, that program. Well, just let's just cut all the introductions short. Let me just come to you.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Let me first start by asking you, how important do you think education is to the youth generally, not only in Lagos State, but to the country and even the world at large?
Thanks for having me. I think education is critical. I mean, 21st century, the world is changing. For us as a country and as a state, we have to ensure that we're preparing our youth for the world they're going to get into. So I think it's a very critical thing. And for us in Lagos State, it shows by the kind of budget we put into education. So for us, it's critical and something we're committed to.
All right, very well. I'm glad you're committed about this, and you say it's very important. So, can you shed more light on the Ready Set Work initiative?
Yeah, thanks. I mean, the Ready Set Work initiative was something that we started like 13 weeks ago. The governor announced it at the graduation last week. And then it was something that he had mandated us to do, to ensure that we create a system of education that works for everybody. Now, you and I know that one of the major things corporate Nigeria complains about, the quality of the graduates we churn out. I mean, for me, as an entrepreneur, I mean, I remember one of the things that I used to dread doing was interviewing people because you always felt that the quality wasn't something you wanted. So now for us, what we try to do with Ready Set Work was to run a 13 weeks program that prepared the average graduate in Lagos State schools for the world of work. So whether you want to be an employee, you want to be an entrepreneur, this program was focused at that. So I think it's been something we're excited about to see the kind of change that's created, and it's something that we want to definitely scale up.
All right, very well. But a lot of people are of the view that it shouldn't be a government initiative alone. I mean, driving education and the kind of graduates we turn. So, in what ways do you think the public sector, the general public, in what ways do you think they can come in to make this stream a reality?
I totally agree with you. One of the key things that the government makes clear to us is that we can't solve the education problem by ourselves. Even if we put the whole budget of Lagos State on education, for a state of 22, 23 million people, it's not possible for us to put enough schools, enough universities, and all that. So the private sector must be involved in it. Same thing with Ready Set Work. The success of Ready Set Work today is the fact that private sector really has been a key partner in making it happen. So let me give you a good example. We have over 100 internship placements in private sector organizations, GT Bank, Total, Access, PwC, and whoever graduates from Ready Set Work, employability track, gets a 6 months internship placement in corporate Nigeria. And the curriculum that we're running was something that was done in partnership with HR directors of corporate Nigeria, because they're the guys that need the students, the ones that are going to employ them primarily. So I agree with you totally that it's not a government. Government alone cannot solve this problem. That is why we reached out and we're partnering with private sector.
All right. So let me not just do the asking of the questions. We also have Ifeanyi, who is joining us from Lekki in Nigeria. Ifeanyi, if you can hear me, good evening and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Victor.
Sure.
I can hear you.
Yeah. So I want to believe you have a question or two for the Mr. Bank-Olemoh. Please, I would like you to make your question as brief as concise as you can right about now.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, sir. So
Fine, how
my
are you?
question is this. I'm fine, sir. So my question is this. I have a lot of young people that they say they've heard about the initiative, but they don't know how to come about it and how to be part of it.
Okay.
How do you think we can relate that back to the people?
Thanks for the question. I mean, Ready Set Work is simple. I mean, we've tried to create a lot of knowledge around it so people can know. It's for final year students. If you're a final year student and you're going to a Lagos State owned institution, you have access to Ready Set Work. Now, this year, every year in Lagos State, we graduate between 4,000 to 4,500, between 4,500 to 5,000 graduates every year. So what we did this year was to do a small sample of 500 final year students only, taken from LASU,
Okay.
LASPROTEC, and College of Health Tech. But where we're going is that we want every graduate in Lagos State to go through this program. So if you're a final year student in Lagos State, this is the kind of program that is there for you. It's totally free. Private sector is involved in it. And primarily what we're trying to do is to prepare the average Lagosian for the world of work.
Wow. Thank you very much for that.
All right. I believe you're satisfied with that question. But we also have Kasali Timitokwe, who is actually joining us from the Ojo campus of Lagos State University. If you can hear me, Kasali, what would your question be to Mr. Bank-Olemoh?
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. My question to Mr. Bank-Olemoh is that what will Lagos State government do? Because I am one of the beneficiaries of this initiative for this year, and only 500 students were shortlisted. What will Lagos State government do next year to make sure that more than 500 students will be shortlisted for next year, and to ensure that, like, I belong to the employability team and only 100 students will get the internship? What will they do to make sure that more than 100 of students get the internship, and as well as the entrepreneurs? That's my question to him.
Well, thank you, Terry Tokwe. I think you're Oliver Twist. You always want more, and that's okay, really. But what our plan, as I said earlier, is to ensure that the program runs for all the graduates in our schools. But again, we wanted to test our assumptions. That's why we did 500 this year. Next year, the
Okay.
government has approved for us to scale up the number. So we're going to be having between, I think, like 3,000 students, final year students, will go through this program next year. We're going to be having it in two campuses. We're going to have the last Protect and we're going to have the last Shoot. So we're going to have two centers. And of course, the success of this program is the private sector part of it, because private sector ultimately are the major employers of labor in the country, if you aggregate it all together. So, once we've been able to make a success of this, it's easy for us to get more internship slots and more apprenticeship slots for our entrepreneurs. So that's where we're going. But the key thing for us has been the fact that we've been able to test our assumptions. We've been very happy with the level of success we've seen. Students have come on time. Everybody has 13 weeks. They've been there, so that excites us. But I can guarantee you that next year, by God's grace, the government has approved for us to scale up this program, and we should have between 2,500 to 3,000 final year students take part in the program.
Well, I think you have exceeded the expectations of Kasali, because she was thinking, okay, maybe 1,000. She said 1,000. I even would have thought Temitope actually applied for the President Obama's Yali program, because they started with 500 and then gradually moved to 1,000. But then you guys are moving from 500 to 3,000. But then just before we continue, Bumi Ade is joining us. Bumi, thanks for coming on the program. Good evening. We can't hear you, Bumi. All right, we still can't hear you, but while you sort out your audio, let's come back to Tommy Phil. He joined us. I think he's joining us from his car. Thanks for coming on board, and good evening.
I hope he's not driving.
No, not at all. He's tired. All right, we still can. We
Yeah, yeah.
still. All right, we still can. We still can't hear Phil. Let's check out the Bumi. Bumi, can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please.
Yes,
I
we
can hear
can.
you. Good evening, and thanks for coming on board.
Good evening.
All right. So just
It's a pleasure to join in.
All right, so just before I let you continue again, I'd like to remind our viewers that this is a very special hangout with the special assistant to the governor of Lagos State on Education, Mr. Obafela Bank-Olemoh. He's talking to us about building the education sector of Nigeria. So let me just come to you, Bumi. A lot of water has gone under the bridge, but what question do you have for Mr. Bank-Olemoh?
My question is this. We all know that there's a selection process used in picking students who do this, who do their IT. Been, are they being, or are they just, if it's a random selection, how well, or how do I put it, how would you actually get the right student?
I think I didn't hear you very well. Let me just try and answer based on the things I think I heard you say about the internship. Now, the internship, what we've tried to do is to, via the Ready Set work, is to prepare the students as best as we can. You know, we've done that for 13 weeks. Now, what we're going to have on Saturday is both the pitch and also the interview. So where Corporate Nigeria comes themselves to pick the students they want. So on Saturday in LASU, you're going to have representatives from Total, GT Bank, PwC, Access Bank, FCMB, System Specs, among others. They're all going to be set up, different halls, and the students will be interviewed. So they pick themselves. We have close to 100 slots. So the best is, I mean, one of the things we are also teaching the average Nigerian students is that out there you have to be prepared to be competitive. You know, if you're good enough, you work hard enough, you get a job, and that's what we try to do for them here. So the HR managers and HR directors of these organizations are coming to our school. They're going to interview the students, and they're going to pick the best of them to work in the organization for 6 months paid internship.
All right. Let me come back again and ask another question. As you know, like the world is evolving. We're moving into the 21st century. We're moving from we're actually going to the jet age. We're moving past the industrial revolution. Now, talking about the fourth industrial revolution. What role do you think the social media technology will play, you know, in changing the face of education in Lagos and even in Nigeria at large?
I mean, if you ask me, it's already changing it. What we have always been to that. You know, but I think one of the critical thing that social media has done for us is the fact that everybody, government and everyone, change the way and change the way we even govern the nation. I mean, during the elections, a critical part. It's forcing government to be more responsive to the people, you know. And I think that's one of the most exciting things about what social media has done. It also made sure that we have a lot of young people. They can engage government and force government to do what they ought to do. You know, I think that's very, very critical. You know, and it's something that we cannot overemphasize. That is critical for us to make that happen. You know, but if you talk about social media and talk about education again, you find out that if you go anywhere on social media, a lot of people learn on the internet now. You know, there's a lot of learning materials there and things like that. So I think it's a critical aspect. It's forcing us to change the way we govern, the way we lead. I think it's a positive. You know, yeah, there's some negative parts of it, but I think it's more positive than negative.
All right, very well. But again, there is this much talk about the digital library project, which also is in line with technology, you know, and all that's moving the education forward. Can you kindly put more light or shed more light? You know, just let it go. Give us something. Tell us something we don't know about this project.
Thanks, Matthias. I mean, the digital library project has been approved by the governor last month. What we want to do is to create an education portal that will make it possible for every resident in Lagos, every student in Lagos will have access to knowledge. It falls under our plan to increase access to knowledge, and that plan is threefold. The first plan is we've been working very aggressively to improve our libraries within our secondary schools. So we have a program called Project 350, focused at that. So all the libraries in Lagos Secondary School are being renovated. So in the next 2 weeks, we're going to open like another 20-something new libraries that we've upgraded, to ensure that our students have better access to knowledge. We're also working very hard to improve our libraries outside our schools. So if you go to Herbert Macaulay Library now in Yaba, that's been upgraded in partnership with private sector, GT Bank. We go to our Isolo Library, that's been done. You look at your libraries and all that. So we're doing a lot of things in that space. The digital library is the final aspect to that. Creating a portal where all the curriculum for every student in Lagos will be there. We're going to have study guides there. We're going to have videos, So, for example, your son is at home on his feature phone. He wants to do something on algorithms and it's stuck. He goes to his class, clicks on his class, clicks on the syllabus, clicks on algorithms. You'll see a study guide. You'll see a video, that takes him through it. So that's what we're doing. It's something we're excited about, and we're working very hard to ensure that the first phase will be up and running by January 2017. So the government will say, welcome back to school, to negotiate with that portal by January 2017. The first phase should be open for us to launch.
Well, we can't wait for January 2017. But again, I would like to come back to the audience again. I'm sure they still have a couple of questions for you. All right. So, if I let me come back to you. Do you have another question you would want to ask?
I have hello. I have a question. You just talked about the digital library. I'm a bit curious. What about those people who don't have access to internet, or they're probably where they're staying now, or what they have available, they are not able to access the internet? Because when we talk about digital library, it has to do with being online. And what about those in the rural areas that don't have access to most of these things? What is the check? What is the stuff put in place for those people? No.
I hear that question a lot. And I'm always excited to answer that question. Two things. The first thing government needs to do is to provide access. So for what are we doing right now? We're providing access. So we're ensuring that this is there. Yes, there will be some people that don't have access to the internet. Then our public libraries are there. Our school libraries are there. You can access that. But you and I know that the future is the internet. Whether we like it or not, on a yearly basis, access is going to get better. Penetration will get better. There will be more access all around the world, all around the country. So for us as the Lagos State government, we're preparing for that time, And what we've also tried to do is to ensure that whatever phone you have, even a feature phone, we'll be able to access that portal. And the materials you have there are free. So yes, some people will not be able to access it now, but it's something they will be able to access in the future. So those that have access to right now will be able to create materials over there to ultimately improve the learning outcomes we have in Lagos State.
All right. Thank you very much once again. Kasali, let me come to you to get your own second question to Mr. Bank-Olemoh.
Okay, sir. Well, my question goes thus. On the day you introduced us as some of us that were shortlisted as a Ready Set Work ambassador, you said some certain things, sir. And now I think the whole plan has changed. So I want you to make more clarification on that. Because so many people felt because we are ambassadors, then we won't go through any strict interview process, or will be highly favored. But with the situation of things on ground, I think it's not that anymore. And I am also one of the ambassador, and I've tried asking questions to that effect that, sir, is it still going to be this way? And they are telling me something new entirely. So, sir, I would like you to make more clarification on that, sir.
Okay, I don't think I remember. I remember totally what I said, and I'll repeat it again. I said the ambassadors are going to be one of the first people we consider when the interviews for slots for the internship, and that's what we're doing. You see, let me tell you one thing you have to know. You see, you are going into the real world. You know, the university setting is a make-believe setting. You know, I mean, everybody in university feels that the world revolves around them. We are going to the real world now. In the real world, it's survival of the fittest. You know, there are night slots. I think there are like 200 of you going for nights, for 100 slots, sorry. There are 200 of you going for 100 slots. Then you should give it your best. But ultimately, not everybody will get the slots because the organizations will pick themselves. But one thing I'm confident about, anybody that has gone through this program, Ready, Set, Work, is a better person. So whatever other opportunities you see, you know, you're better equipped to grab those opportunities. One of the things I think we've tried to do, you know, everybody felt that when we started this program that it was man, no man, you know, if you knew the essay or you knew somebody in government, you'll get a slot. I mean, and I told them, and I maintained it, that is survival of the fittest. It's going to be fair. It's going to be open to everybody that gives its best. So if you give your best, you will get in. And I think that's the best thing for this country. And that's what we should continue to promote in Nigeria. That is survival of the fittest. You give your best, you get an opportunity, whether you're Yoruba, you're Hausa, you're Igbo, it doesn't matter to anybody. You know, that's what I think is the best thing for Lagos State and ultimately for this country.
All right, thank you very much again. Just before we continue, Tommy Phil is back again. Like I said earlier, he is in his car, even though we can't really see you, Tommy. Like, would like to just quickly hear what you have to say. If you have a question that you want to direct to Mr. Bank-Olemoh, please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, Tommy. You go ahead.
About we the final student.
All right, Tommy. Hold on, Tommy. You're breaking. Tommy, you're breaking. If you can hear me, you can just send
like
your.
My school, like last protect, 200 students were picked. So I want to know.
Can't hear him at all.
Yeah. All right, Tommy. If you can hear me, just send your question via Twitter using the hashtag #SAMeetChannelsTV, and we'll bring it down here and read it to the essay to go through some of that. Well, also we have Becky Akindele. Becky, if you can hear us, good evening and thanks for coming on the program. Well, I think Becky can also hear us. Bumi, let me come to you and also get your own question quickly before we go to the social media platforms and get some of the questions that are streaming in from that area. Bumi, can you hear me? Bumi, can you hear me? All right, go ahead, Bumi.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. I really appreciate the opportunity to ask another question. Now, is it just the private sectors these students will be allowed to have their internship, or there is hope for those who want to go into the public service? Is there hope? Is there any? Are they going to create spaces for people who want to be public servants?
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I was waiting for that question, so I wasn't disappointed. The first phase of this program is just private sector driven, but it's something we've looked into and said from next year we're going to have some slots for internship within the Lagos State government. So, for example, we're going to have 2 interns in my ministry, Ministry of Education, 2 in economic planning and all that. So yes, this set is just focused at private sector, but from next year we're going to have some interns take it into government, into different key ministries in Lagos State government. So yes, we're going to have that from next year.
Okay, okay, sir.
All right, Akindele Becky is still with us. If you can hear me, Akindele Becky, good evening and thanks for coming on the program. Okay, well, she still can't hear us. But then, so let me come back to social media. We have Amuni Koro Adebao, and he's asking, or he's saying that it should be accessible to teachers and students only. His question is saying it's strictly an education material backed process. Is that correct?
I'm sorry I didn't get that well. Can you go over that again?
Okay, he said it should be accessible to teachers and students only, strictly education materials. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, not all teachers, students, parents will be involved in it because they're a critical stakeholder. I want our parents also to be involved. But yes, it's strictly educational content. We're going to drive a lot of education things, like videos. We're going to try and ensure that education is fun on our digital library. Something that the governor is passionate about. We're working very hard to ensure that by January 2017, the first phase of it will be ready for launch.
All right, very well. Someone is asking, when will the 1 mil program start in Lagos?
The 1 mil program, what we're trying to do, for us in Lagos, there's some critical things that we try to do, and it's to ensure that because of the number of students we have in our schools, we have to ensure that whatever we're getting into, we get into with our eyes open. Now, the 1 mil is something that's going to be in our 2017 budget. We're looking at it very well. One of the challenges we have is that I think the federal, it's a partnership between the states and the federal government. And the federal government and the states are working out the modalities to see how we can sync the both programs. But yes, the 1 million a day, the program we're looking at, it's in our budget for 2017, and we're looking at starting it in 2017 in Lagos State.
Well, it seems 2017 is going to be full of surprises for Lagos State citizens. We can't wait to hold you to your words when that time comes. But quickly, let me just ask you, I mean, this program has been on for 13 weeks. Let me just even ask, how has this project, that's the Ready Set project, how has it shifted the paradigm, how has it shifted the thought process, the paradigm of the youth towards the states?
For me, I think, Matthias, I would have loved you to ask the guys that went to the Ready Set with that question. I think it would be better to answer it, but I've been there most of the week myself. I think what has been very exciting for me is to see the way the average student's mindset has changed. I remember when we started, we told them that we're going to start 9 on the dot. If you're not there 9 o'clock, we lock you out. People felt that we're not serious. But we're very serious about it. I'm told you that it's about attendance. If you don't come for 80% of the classes, you will not graduate. So it's been good to see that if you raise a high standard for the average Nigerian student, they will rise up to those standards. And I think those are the standards they need to excel in the world of work. So for us and our private sector partners, it's been very, very exciting to see this. And also, one of the key aspects is that we've been able to bring some of the biggest private sector people to our schools every week to speak to the students. The managing director of Systems Specs, the country partner of Google was there. I was there. Some of my colleagues at Lagos State were also there. So we brought some private sector individuals and government individuals to inspire these students. So for us, I think it's been a really major shift in the mindset of the final students in Lagos State.
All right. Since you made mention of me asking again, I will just redirect that question to Mitokma, who has already said that she is a participant of this program. But then, just before I do that, Tommy Phil is persistent. Again, he is back. Tommy, can you hear us this time around? Hello, Tommy. Well, we still can't get. Yeah, we still can't get him. I think the internet, the poor internet connectivity is putting us asunder his desire to ask you a question. I guess perhaps he will have to send that question via the internet. All right, Kasali Temitope, let me redirect this question. How has this program? I mean, it's been on. You've been in this program for like 13 weeks. That's about 3 months. What has changed for you from when you started till now?
Okay. Thank the privilege to ask to address this. Well, my experience as one of the RS students is indeed great, challenging, and a memorable one. Well, during the training, I was shortlisted as a student ambassador of the Ready Set work. And being an ambassador, my responsibility is to guide, contribute, and provide a realistic information about the program to students and non-students in order for the program to be efficient. And this, I think, has helped me grow well in my leadership skills and also having the confidence that wherever I find myself, I can compete because I believe I have undergone a professional training and my mindset concerning the world of work have also changed. So I think the program is really a great privilege to we students of Lagos State Tertiary Institution. Thank you.
All right, very well.
Thank you.
Sure, you're welcome. If any words in terms of the change in perception, the paradigm shift, thought process since this program started?
Um, um, all I could say is the little I've heard. Sometimes I follow. I think I follow the conversation sometimes on social media. The things I hear them, they teach them, and the kind of things the students put back whenever they are done with their classes or when they are going through their classes. I think a lot of changes has taken place in most of those students. Their thought pattern, I believe there's a lot of change right now from those guys that came when the program started and these guys that are about to leave. There's a whole total difference.
All right,
Can you hear
thank
me?
you. Yes, I can hear you. Well, I hope they do change for the better. Like you said, Kasali is also here. But then, Bumi, let me also get your own words just before we go. What do you think, or what have you seen so far since the quote unquote now boot camp started? Bumi, if you can hear me. Okay, Bumi seemed not to be able to hear me. Let me come again to Tommy. Tommy, what's up? Say something. Okay, Tommy is also not there. Again, let me give another chance to Akindele Becky. Akindele, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I'm here. Here.
Okay, very well. Thank you for joining, but you need to ask your question as fast as you can.
All right, my question is for those that are in the entrepreneur track.
Yeah.
We've done our pre-pitch and 24 groups are qualified for the next stage. Now I want to know the internship slots that is available. Is it for only these 24 groups or for all the entrepreneur students?
Okay, thanks, Becky. You know that it's not. I don't call it internship. Call it apprenticeship. So
Apprenticeship.
what we've tried to do is that apart from the top three people that are going to win ₦1,000,000, 500,000 naira, and 250,000 naira, each of them also wins 100,000 naira every month for working capital. You know, aside from those teams, another 80 of you that are in the entrepreneurship class will place organizations for apprenticeship for the next 6 months, and they'll also be paid. You'll be paid 50,000 naira every month for the next 6 months. But also, you'll be paid. You'll be paid. The key thing for us will be that there'll be a sign up from the organization where you're working that says that you are adding value. You came every time. You really were at the right attitude to work. Once they sign off, you also be paid on that. So yes, it's not just for the team members. It's for 80 of you, 80 of the best of you that we're going to pick out for apprenticeship. So yes, we have 100 slots for internship for those in the employability class. We have 80 for those in the apprenticeship class.
All right. So just before we go, I have a question again for you. I mean, you're a stakeholder in education, no doubt. And I mean, by virtue of your position, I'm sure you motivate a lot of people, you inspire a lot of people. But what are you doing personally to prepare the youth for a nation which presently the economic turf is really, really unstable? What are you doing to prepare them for the future using
You see,
education?
you see, for us in Lagos State, it's all about, somebody said, there's a Chinese proverb that says that if you want 1 year of prosperity, you grow grains. If you want 10 years of prosperity, you grow trees. But if you want 100 years of prosperity, you grow people. And that's what we're trying to do. Lagos State, grow our people. That's why we have Ready Set Work. It's about growing our people, growing our graduates, because they're the future. But beyond that, we're also working on something that we're going to launch next year. It's called Code Lagos. Code Lagos is that over the next 3 years, we want to expose 1 million students in Lagos to coding. So we're going to set up coding centers in all our schools, secondary school, primary schools, universities, our libraries. It's a major program. We're going to do a pitch to corporate Nigeria to partner with us in October. I'm going to invite you to that pitch. So we're going to lay our plans before corporate Nigeria, tell you what the government is doing, and asking corporate Nigeria to fund to support that program called Code Lagos. So that's also a thing we're doing to prepare our every Lagosian for the future. Just recently we just signed an agreement for a smart city, Lagos being a smart city. So this ties into that, trying to prepare Lagos and Lagosians for the future. So that's what we're doing. But ultimately it boils down to the person. The government can just do that much, private sector can just do that much. It boils down to that person that is committed to giving its best, whatever opportunity you have. And I hope that our graduates will take these opportunities and give their best to it so that they can excel in life.
Well, that's the hope for every builder of people. He wants to see all the people he's building excel in life. I'm very, very much interested in the Lagos Smart City project. And yes, hopefully I will be around to see how far it goes and be also a beneficiary of the Lagos smart amenities. But then that's where we have to wrap up this conversation at this point. Thank you very much, Mr. Obafela Bank-Olemoh, the special advisor to the Governor of Lagos State on Education. Mr. Ifeanyi, who joined us from Lekki in Lagos, thanks for coming on the program as well. Temitope Kasali, you joined us from the Ojo camp of Lagos State University. Thank you very much. And also Akindele, you joined us from a virtual location. Exactly. Thanks again for coming again on the program. But then it's another Google Plus Hangout for Channels Beam. Thank you very much. I am Victor Matthias.